the text number 1 and 2, it's not like crystal clear to me. Very briefly, can you please?
In the 15th chapter, this is going to take a long time. This is a full class.
Okay.
Because if we have to understand, we'll have to read the purport where Prabhupada explains how we'll find such a tree with upward, downward. But it's a good idea to plan for it. Maybe we can plan a separate session. We can do 15 chapter. If devotees are available next week, I have a lot of time. We can do the conference call a little bit earlier, or something we can plan.
Or maybe Prabhu, so, weekend, this coming weekend, or maybe next weekend, because then we can spare more time on Sunday.
Yes, so next weekend I have a lot of time. So devotees can please suggest what time works for all of you, and we can have a special discussion. So
Sounds like a good idea, Prabhu, because it's not only just reading the text, knowing the purport, then it will give.
Yes. Actually, in the meantime, everybody is requested to read the purport of all the shlokas in the 15th chapter. So then when we meet next week, everybody should share what they read in the purport.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, thank you,
Great.
Prabhu.
So we'll go to the Bhagvatam, and we finished the 12th, 11th chapter. So we have to start the 12th chapter.
Prabhuji?
Yes, I'm going to ask Mataji. So Bharati Mataji has a special surprise for everybody. Mataji.
Yes. Natasha Mataji, आप तो मेरे को host बना दो.
So you want to start with the quiz, or should we do
Yes, yes. No, Prabhuji, start with the quiz. And then 10 minute का है, ज़्यादा नहीं है, 15 questions.
See, the thing is, I may, if you can keep the end, then if I get interrupted, I can step out. I will not play the quiz. But right now I am not having any patience. So I was thinking if...
तो फिर 12 chapter start कर लेते हैं और फिर...
Yeah, आधा घंटा we will read 12 chapters.
हाँ.
So, okay.
Mataji, I'll make you the host anyways, regardless, because I'm also in the hospital, just in case I'm not able to later on. Okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
No problem, Mataji.
Okay, so we'll start 7, 12, 1. Any volunteers who would like to do the Sanskrit?
Yes, Prabhu, I can try.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Shri Naradu Vacha.
Shri Narada Vacha.
Brahmachari Gurukule.
Brahmachari Gurukule.
Vasandhanto Gurohirtam.
Vasandhanto
Gurohirtam.
Acharandasavanicho.
Acharandasavanicho.
Guru Sudhrad Soharda.
Guru
Sudrada Soharda.
Can you please scroll down to translation?
Yes.
Thank you. Narad Muni said a student should practice completely controlling his senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master. With a great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukula only for the benefit of the Guru.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mataji. So different people, society, their roles, duties is being highlighted in the 11th and 12th chapter. So we'll go to the 12th shloka. Rajni Mataji, you want to say something about the shloka you just read?
Yes, Prabhu. There is one striking point that I could share, and please correct me if I am on the right track or not. It says, with a great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukul only for the benefit of Guru. So this is the seva bhav of brahmachari towards his or her Guru, because he should think only seva to the Guru, not for anything for himself, because if Guru is pleased and satisfied, and if then only from Guru's tapobal, or from Guru's blessings, the shishya or brahmachari can only be blessed. So he should think only towards the Guru only, not for like, if I'm going to the Guru, my life will be all sinless, and I will be free from all karmas and all, but only for the that should indicate the seva bhav towards his Guru. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you. So this is a very, very important shloka to understand that how brahmacharis are. So when we see brahmacharis in the temple, we must have great respect for them, because it is not easy for engaging in the service of everybody, Krishna, and you're doing that only for the pleasure of the Guru. So that kind of a dedication and commitment is very, very rare. So these people who are living in the temple wearing saffron, most of them are brahmacharis, some of them are sannyasis. Sannyasis are like, you can say, in one way they are like the professors of the university. In one place Prabhupada uses that word. And then brahmacharis are the students. Now those students also, the brahmacharis, many of the senior brahmacharis or senior students actually take the role of teaching. So many of the brahmacharis, whatever they have learned, they share throughout the area. So they have different engagements like that. So we'll go to the next slogan.
Yes.
Any volunteers?
Prabhuji, I can read.
Please, ma'am.
Sayam pratarupasita
Sayam
Ayam
Pratarupasita
Upasita
Gurva Agni Ark Surottaman
Guru
Gurva Agni Arka Shurottaman
Sandhe Ube Cha Yatavag
Sandhye Ube Cha Yata Vag
Japan Brahma Samahita.
Japan Brahma Samahita.
At both junctions of day and night, namely in the early morning and in the evening, he should be fully absorbed in thoughts of the spiritual master, fire, the sun god, and Lord Vishnu, and by chanting the Gayatri mantra, he should worship them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So if anybody wants to share anything, they can always share. But otherwise, we'll keep going forward. These are just, shlokas. Prabhupada has not written purport here in subsequent shlokas. So let's keep reading unless and anybody wants to add anything, they can always add.
Prabhu, why Prabhupada say here, that he should be fully absorbed in thoughts of spiritual master, fire? Why he put the fire, sun god, and Lord Vishnu? Why did he not put the Lord Krishna?
Yes,
Fire
Mataji.
and are demigods.
So Mataji, this is not Prabhupada, this is what Bhagvatam is saying. So if you read, this is exact translation of the shloka from the Bhagvatam. So as you go forward, this will become very, very clear what is being mentioned. But here the point is that when we are connecting with anything else other than Krishna, let's say if we are connecting with spiritual master, or it's connecting with fire, or sun god, we are not connecting with any of them independently. We are connecting with them with an understanding that these are energies of Krishna. Spiritual master is the representative of Krishna. Fire and the sun are the energies of Krishna. They are actually representing the from dark, we say, right, from darkness one has to come to light. So similarly, they're representing the light of spiritual light, where we can understand. And then even the demigods, when a devotee is worshipping the demigods, like Prahlad Maharaj, we had heard that Prahlad Maharaj worshipped all the demigods after Narsingadev appeared and all the demigods were there, and then all the demigods went. So there, the idea was not that he's worshipping them independently. He is doing it understanding that they are servant of Krishna, and his primary duty is towards Krishna, and the demigods are just devotees of Krishna. So similarly, when they are talking about fire or sun god, primarily it is in connection with Krishna, not separate from Krishna. Does it make sense?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I can read next.
Yes, please.
Chandam se adhiyeta gurur.
Chandam
And
Bhutas chet suyantritah.
Ahutat chetasuyantryah
Upkrame avasane cha avasane cha
Uprame avasane
vasane cha
charano shirsa namet.
charano shirsaname.
Translation: being called by the spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly every day before beginning his studies, and at the end of his studies, the disciple should respectfully offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Okay, great. Somebody want to read forth?
I can read.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Mekhalajin Vasan. No, sorry.
Mekhalajina
Vasansi
Jata Danda Kamandalu.
Jata
yata danda kamandalun
Vidyadupavitam cha.
Bibriyat
bibriyad upavitam cha
Darbhapanirya Thotidam.
darbhapanir yathoditam.
Translation: carrying pure kusha grass in his hand, the brahmachari should dress regularly with a belt of straw and with deerskin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with the sacred thread as recommended in the Shastras.
Okay,
Hare
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so different spaces in the scripture, different types of, let's say here, for example, dressing. Different type of dresses have been mentioned for how a Varanprasthan should be, how a Grihastha should be, how, Brahmachari should be, how Sannyasi should be. And there is different variations, and based upon time, place, circumstances, and the acharyas, we have to accept what is favorable for that particular time, place, circumstance. So even though this may be relevant at some time, this is not something which is focused on so much currently. Okay, we'll go forward. Any volunteers to read this?
Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, please.
Sayam pratascharet bhaksham
Sayam
Pratascharet
prasthareshicham
gurve tannivedayat
Guru
purve tannivedayat
bhunjita yagyanugyato
Bhunjita
bhunjita
yajna
yajnugyato
no ched upavaset kvachit.
no
no
chet
chedavase upase kvachit.
Translation: The brahmachari should go out morning and evening to collect alms, and he should offer all that he collects to the spiritual master. He should eat only if ordered to take food by the spiritual master. Otherwise, if the spiritual master does not give this order, he may sometimes have to fast. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is army-like discipline. When you see the army, that is a good army means very disciplined. Whatever orders are coming from above, they do it just how it is told. They don't think, contemplate, or ask question. अरे वहां से क्यों जाऊं मैं? Why should I take that route? I should take a different route. Not like that. So similarly, this is the training a brahmachari is get in childhood when they are living in a gurukul, and that is how these things are being mentioned. Of course, in Kali Yuga, we have no such training from the childhood, so we don't understand. And even those people who may take the responsibility of training or educating the students, they themselves don't have the understanding of how a guru should be, and they don't display the qualities. So the problem happens. But very, very important thing is that wherever we are, whatever has happened, if we take to Krishna consciousness now, then all the other things will be taken care of. But this is army like discipline, that if you are asked to eat by the guru, then you eat, otherwise you don't even eat, you just fast. So that much is the emphasis on what one should do and not do. You go next, 6.
Yes, good. Sushilomit Bhugdaksha
Sushilo Mitta Bhugdaksha
Pratidano Jitendriya
Shraddha
Shraddhano
Shraddhano
Jitendriya
Jitendriya
Yavadarth Vyaharet
Yavada
Yavadat Vyavharet
Ishu Stri Nirjiteshu Cha.
Sri
Strishu Sri
Shitrushistri Nirjiteshu Cha.
A brahmachari should be quiet, well behaved, and gentle, and should not eat or collect more than necessary. He must always be active and expert, fully believing in instruction of the spiritual master and Shastra, fully controlling his senses. He should associate only as much as necessary with the woman or those controlled by women. Brahmachari should be very careful not to mix with women or with men addicted to women. Although when he goes out to beg alms, it is necessary to talk with women and with men very much attached to women. This association should be very short, and he should talk with them only about begging alms and not more. A brahmachari should be very careful in associating with men who are attached to women.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for reading. So this is for begging alms, but actually in modern context, if you native is given, and therefore you see in ISKCON, people don't go out and beg, but what do? What do the brahmacharis do, and what do the devotees in general do when they go out
Book
on the?
distribution, Nagar Kirtan, Prabhu.
Yeah, they go out for book distribution, Nagar Sankirtan, distribution of prasadam. And the book distribution is actually the transformation, or in the Kali Yuga, of this begging of alms. So when we do book distribution, that is beneficial to the other person, that is beneficial to you, and that is beneficial to the message of the Guru. So therefore, we may have to talk with other people, but it should be focused on how we can give them the Bhagavad Gita, and in return, whatever they will give will be engaged in the service of Krishna, and that way they will be benefited two folds. First fold is they are getting the Bhagavad Gita, so they'll read it and get benefited. And second thing, they are giving Lakshmi, which will go in the service of Krishna, and then they will get benefited by that. So that is a beautiful, basically, Prabhupada's invention in one way, you can say. And because of that, the Bhagavad Gita has had more than 500 million copies distributed already in the last few decades. So number one distributed book in the whole world is the Bible, right? Bible is number one, Quran is number two, and our Hindus are not very serious about Bhagavad Gita or reading scriptures. So Bhagavad Gita is there behind, but it still occupies the first 10 positions. So it is in number 7, I heard, and the credit goes to more than anyone else. It's ISKCON, it's Srila Prabhupada, because if Prabhupada wouldn't have promoted, encouraged, motivated, inspired devotees to do book distribution, then Bhagavad Gita would have been nowhere in the first million books. You know, some all nonsense books will be people will be reading. That's it. But now Bhagavad Gita is there only because of this. There are so many different press, Gita Press, Gorakhpur, and other presses who have practically stopped publishing, and they are going bankrupt, and they are totally stopped. Why? Because nobody is reading these books. Spiritual books, nobody is taking interest. But by the arrangement of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada was sent, and Prabhupada has transformed and flooded the whole world with so many books. So we must take advantage of these books and must not take it cheaply or lightly. Sometimes you will see devotees distributing books on the streets. It will be very nice if we can take books from them. That is very encouraging to them. That is very inspiring, and we get Sukriti also. And then we can use those books for gifting or distributing further. You can take those books and you can learn how to distribute books in your area, in your circle, or you can come up with innovative ideas, how to put a bookstall, um, or how to give as a gift to school teachers or whoever you feel. Recently we had I think last year Anj's school had some occasion, so we gifted one book to each of the teachers. That way they read, and many of them they really liked it and gave us positive feedbacks. So like that, you never know. You have to see the person and you have to see what kind of book we can give. But actually the truth is that any book going to any person can do wonders. Because when we read the other person, we think, "Arey, ye kahan bhakti mein aayenge?" This person will not become a devotee, and we are totally wrong, because that person can become a devotee, but because we are too proud to think that, oh, I am a devotee, I am much better than him, and this person is very wrong, or very bad, or very materialist, that is a sign of pride. Humility means we should think, if I came to bhakti, then anybody can come and everybody can come. How they will come? Krishna is giving me this chance. I have to pray and I have to share with them. And then we pray very seriously. So we pray very seriously, sincerely, and beg for the mercy of the Lord. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, anybody else would like to add anything? Otherwise, we go forward. Okay, who will read the next one?
Yeah. Varjayet pramadagathaam.
Varjayet
Pramadagathaam. Agrihasto brihatratah.
Agrihasto brihatratah.
Indriyani pramatini.
Indriyani pramatini.
Haranti apiyater manaha.
Harantyarapiyatermana.
Translation: a brahmachari, or one who has not accepted the grihastha ashram family life, must rigidly avoid talking with women or about women, for the senses are so powerful that they may agitate even the mind of a sannyasi
a member of the renounced order of life. Purport: Brahmacharya essentially means the vow not to marry, but to observe strict celibacy, Brihad Vrata. A brahmachari or sannyasi should avoid talking with women or reading literature concerning talks between man and a woman. The injunction restricting association with women is the basic principle of spiritual life. Associating or talking with women is never advised in any of the Vedic literatures. The entire Vedic system teaches one to avoid sex life so that one may gradually progress from brahmacharya to grihastha, from grihastha to vanaprastha, and from vanaprastha to sannyas, and thus give up material enjoyment, which is the original cause of bondage to this material world. The word Brihadrata refers to one who has decided not to marry. In other words, not to indulge in sex life throughout his entire life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I don't have anything to contribute here.
Any volunteers who would like to read 8th?
प्रभु जी यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन है.
Yes, sir.
सेकंड लाइन उन्होंने बोला है कि ये ब्रह्मचारी और सन्यासी should avoid talking with women or reading literature concerning talk between men and women. Means the brahmachari should not talk women for the Vedas or any.
अगर आप पहले वाला इससे पहले वाला श्लोका देखो, see the shloka before this, उसमें last line is said, fully controlling the senses, he should associate only as much as necessary with women or those controlled by women.
Okay.
As much as necessary.
Yeah, ठीक है.
For service of Krishna.
Got it.
Otherwise, no loose talks.
Thank you for that.
That's why that is the duty of the grahasthas. So the grahasthas have to engage husband and wife. They should together, cultivate other families, other grahasthas, other, children, other girls, especially the senior matajis can give guidance to senior girls. Senior prabhus can give guidance to senior, to relatively new people. So like that.
Prabhuji, लेकिन मतलब there are some stories in even Bhagvatam or Padma Puran which are talks between man and woman. So उसको कैसे avoid करेंगे?
So basically, we have to talk as much as necessary. If it is necessary, then we have to. Sometimes, situation comes where we have to talk. What will you do?
नहीं talk नहीं, reading literature वाला पूछ रही हूँ. Reading literature concerning talks between man and woman. तो जब भागवतम में भी है, पद्म पुराण में भी है, ये सारे तो लिटरेचर, मतलब अब रीडिंग लिटरेचर ही काउंट हुआ ना, कि क्या काउंट हुआ इसको काउंट नहीं करेंगे लिटरेचर में?
Reading literature means the mundane literature, जैसे फेमिना, ये magazines होती हैं, अजीब अजीब से आती हैं. I don't even know what their names are, but there are different magazines you see in the Walmart, where you have women and other things happening. You open it and you see what is going on. All that nonsense we should not. Scriptures, we have to read the scriptures. So scriptures you can read. Kunti Maharani is praying, so you'll not say that, oh, don't read prayer, okay, she's women. Not like that. Women means when you are actually engaged in mundane literatures, like that.
Prabhu, I want to add one thing. There are so many brahmacharis in ISKCON. Our, Yugal Kishore Prabhu and Gaurang Prabhu and all those. They conduct the, classes, Bhagavatam and Gita classes. And if some Matajis have questions, they can, satisfy their questions and fully explain their queries. But that is like on the need basis. It's not like they are indulging in the
as much as necessary.
Yeah, not related things, about their life and whole thing, and if the women has some real problem in their life, they can come and interrupt and guide them also. It's like being a teacher for them. So it's like totally
Okay.
controlled instances and
Actually,
interrupt.
so actually, it is both ways. The women should be intelligent enough also, because women, they don't know the tendency and the mind of the men. So they may be very innocently doing things, but actually, these scriptures should make the women understand how they have to deal with other men, other brahmacharis, other people. Sometimes, some ladies will say to brahmacharis or even to other, okay, Prabhu, can I talk to you separately? So we have to be very careful to follow the etiquettes. We should not put them in an uncomfortable position where they have to say something which you feel is insulting. So sometimes, like once Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was asked by one lady, she said, can I talk to you separately, Maharaj? Maharaj said, no, whatever you want to say, you say here only. So that is how one has to understand. So if you really have something, make sure you have some more people with you, like maybe some other, like sometimes brahmacharis and sannyasis will meet. If they have to interact with other girls, they will have some other people there in the room. They will not want any mataji to be in the room when they are there alone. No, that is totally not recommended, and one should be very careful and sensitive about these things, especially the ladies who are innocent. They don't know the culture, they don't know the etiquette. They may take offense sometimes. Oh, why they are not because they don't understand the mentality, how the scriptures are written, how the mentality of men is, what they are trying to. Actually, this is the highest respect to the ladies when they are not meeting them privately. So that's why sometimes grihastas also are in a situation where you may not have husband wife together. So the ladies should be very careful and try to see how it can be a situation where they can um, interact with the senior devotees in such a way that it makes the seniors also comfortable, because those people who are trying to spend time and trying to help you, guide you, they don't want to say something which hurt your feelings, but at the same time they don't want to breach the etiquette also. So there is a narrow fine balance. So this is for both people. It is for brahmacharis also, it is for grastas also, and also it is for ladies also to understand. Does it make sense, Madhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Anybody else would like to add anything? Otherwise we can do one or two shlokas more quickly.
Prabhuji, did you already do Gita's 15th chapter?
Yes, Mataji, we start at 8:15 and 8 till 8:30 we done.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Purushottam first and then did 15th chapter. It's okay. I will go ahead and read it afterwards.
We have already done. We are going to do this every single day, 8:15 p.m. We will start with Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter.
Okay.
Okay, so anybody would like to read this shloka, Sanskrit, and then translation?
I can read.
Yes.
Kesha prasadhanonmarda
Kesha prasadan
Sadhano Marda
snapanaabhyanjanadikam
Napana
guru stribharyuvatibhi
Guru Sri Bhakti
कारयेनात्मनो युवा
Yuva.
If the wife of the spiritual master is young, a young brahmachari should not allow her to care for his hair, massage his body with oil, or bathe him with affection like a mother. Purport. The relationship between the student or disciple and the wife of the spiritual master or teacher is like that between son and mother. A mother sometimes cares for her son by combing his hair, massaging his body with oil, or bathing him. Similarly, the wife of the teacher is also a mother, Guru Patni, and therefore she may also care for the disciple in a motherly way. If the wife of the teacher is a young woman, however, a young brahmachari should not allow such a mother to touch him. This is strictly prohibited. There are 7 kinds of mothers. Atma Mata Guru Patni, Brahmani Raja Patnika, Dhenur Dhatri Tatha Prithvi, Sapteta Matara Smritaha. These mothers are the original mother, the wife of the teacher or spiritual master, the wife of a Brahmana, the king's wife, the cow, the nurse, and the earth. Unnecessary association with women, even with one's mother, sister, or daughter, is strictly prohibited. This is human civilization. A civilization that allows men to mix unrestrictedly with women is an animal civilization. In Kali Yuga, people are extremely liberal, but mixing with women and talking with them as equals actually constitutes an uncivilized way of life. Hare Krishna. Nothing to share.
Hare Krishna. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
So basically, in the Gurukul, when traditionally the children will be there, so the wife of the Guru will take care of the children like the mother itself. So she'll do all these things. But here specifically, it is given this indication also that if she's young, then young brahmachari should not allow to take care of these things, because how men and women see each other, feel things are very different, and therefore women cannot sometimes understand how men are thinking, and men cannot understand how women are thinking. So the scriptures give a very good prescription to both of them, how men should act, how women should act. And there are things which may be mentioned that, oh, this is looks like extreme, so we have to see time, place, circumstance, and get guidance from our acharyas, guru, and understand how to apply this in current situation. So that is how we understand the scriptures. Does it make sense?
Prabhuji, I want to clarify something. Uh, in this shloka, it's written, actually from the Krishna book, it's coming. So there are 4 stages of childhood or boyhood, something. So the first one is Kishore, then Poganda, then
Ulta. First Bala, then Poganda, then Kishore. Right?
Komar. First one is Komar, Poganda, Kishore, and then Yuva.
Yes.
Okay. So, so if the young brahmachari is Yuva, that is like from 15 years to and above, so then he is not supposed to mingle with the young wife of the spiritual master. Everything is well and good, but the last line, it little bit doesn't make sense of the purport. Like mixing with women and talking with them as equals.
Yeah, because if you think, we can, like men and एक ही बात है. It's same thing whether I'm living with a boy or living with a girl, or hanging out with a boy or hanging out with a girl is the same thing. It's actually not the same thing, because the senses get agitated in different ways when we associate with opposite sex. So we have to be very careful. We have to see them as like different. I'm talking from the standpoint of men. We have to see all the ladies as Krishna, representative of Srimati Radharani, and address them as mothers, except one's own wife. One should be very careful about dealing. So whenever we are dealing, we have to be mindful about these things. So unrestricted and this kind of attitude, like we we see, this is how the society is from the childhood and throughout, and very difficult to comment on these things because the structure is made in such a way that it is so difficult uh, for anybody to really give an alternative. But if there is a training in Krishna consciousness, then everything makes sense. Then even if somebody is interacting with the opposite sex, opposite gender, like for example, many of our devotees, they go out for book distribution at places which are not very appropriate for devotees. But when they go out, their focus is how to give this book. So every person they are actually seeing how they can connect to Krishna. They are very much goal focused. So then Maya doesn't touch them. That is how they are, even though they are interacting with opposite gender, but still they are very safe because they are focused on the goal and they are interacting as much as necessary. But if we are just hanging out, and like happens in schools, colleges, and we see the outcome happens many times, we cannot comment much about it, because we all know how this has caused so much problem, so much insecurity for the women, so many situations where uh, recently I'm sure everybody knows in the past how so many cases happened in Delhi and other places, and recently also I think some case happened in Pakistan. So whenever this kind of a training is not given to the men and to the women, they will not really understand the problematic consequences of lack of training.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, we'll end it here and then we'll do the quiz now. Or anybody has any questions, comments, any points to share before we go to the quiz?
Prabhuji, Rakshita, Prabhuji, I really wanted कि ये वाले chapter पे ना मोग लीला प्रभु should give lecture, because he'll make this very interesting with his his wittiness, his jokes. I really wish if ये वाले chapter पे प्रभु जी का कोई lecture हो. Are you aware कोई lecture है उनका इस पे प्रभु जी? इस वाले chapter
मैं
नहीं
देखा
है.
नहीं, less chances to find too many lectures on these topics, because they are not like, they are general topics. They don't have too much Krishna conscious related thing. They are more of social structure and social things. So you will find it in the daily Bhagvatam which they do. So when this section comes in Dwarka, then you will find his lectures. But specifically any seminar on these, I really doubt, because there's so many other important topics he's busy with.
Actually, Prabhuji, I was watching some of his videos now. तो वो प्रभुजी और बड़े जो topics होते हैं जो generally आजकल लोग करते हैं for social media, for kids, for everybody, for all these other things, तो वो बहुत अच्छे lectures बनाते हैं जो बहुत ही मतलब उनमें बहुत बड़े अच्छे वो समझाते हैं और examples बड़े अच्छे होते हैं उनके. तो I thought if ऐसे किसी topic पे भी कि how they should behave, what they should be taught. So
Mataji, there's one website. It's called. I'm sorry to interrupt. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. No, I was not saying anything.
There is one website. It's by ISKCON Chapati. ISKCON Desire Tea का ही website है. It's called srimadbhagavatamclass.com. And and they have a similar website for Bhagavad Gita also, bhagavadgitaclass.com.
Yeah,
So
Mataji already
each
shared that once with us, and we all heard the lectures on
So
there. There was,
Mataji, each of these shlokas have
yeah.
lectures by Prabhupada and also the different sannyasis in ISKCON on each of this topic, Mataji. So you can refer to that if you want more explanation.
Sure. Yes, Mataji. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
So everybody should get another device or make 2 screen.
Okay, Mataji, just a minute.